Hello there, it's Jeremy again. I'm going to talk about The Seven Samurai, another one of my favorite movies. It's a movie about these villagers in Japan. It's a Japanese movie. It's set in like the 1600s, I think. And it's about these villagers who have been pillaged by these bandits year after year. And the bandits come by and see the village and they're like, well, we can't pillage it now, we just pillaged them a while ago. Let's wait until they finish their crops and we'll come back and take the crops. And one of the villagers happens to overhear the bandits say this, and the villagers all freak out, like, what are we going to do? They're going to take all of our crops and we're going to starve. So they consult the village elder, and he suggests that they go and hire samurai in order to defend the village. And that's where the Seven Samurai come in. Extremely iconic movie. Even if you haven't heard of it, you have probably seen something that was heavily influenced by it. A Bug's Life basically used the same plot. They even said, like, they did use the same basic plot, except instead of like the warriors in A Bug's Life, they're just circus performers. The samurai actually are samurai in Seven Samurai. Then there's, let's see, all the Ocean's movies borrow heavily from it. Pretty much any movie where like they have to gather a bunch, like there's a scene or a sequence of them like going around and recruiting people, tends to borrow pretty heavily from the Seven Samurai. It's Japanese, I think I said. It's a Japanese movie. It came out in like the 50s. It was directed by Akira Kurosawa, who's like one of the best directors ever, and it's just phenomenal. It's, I think, 3 hours long. It's a really long movie, but it does not feel long at all. It goes by so fast, just because of the way it's paced and the editing, and the fact that it never really gets boring. Like, all the characters are really interesting, and it invented like all these tropes, like all these things that have now become just cliches, like the final battle taking place in the rain. You have the people from two different worlds kind of coming together in like the midst of a crisis. James Cameron likes to rip that off a lot. Just so many different things from that movie that are so good. Basically, the entertainment value comes mainly from seeing the villagers develop more, and the samurai especially, the different characters of the samurai. You have like the wise, older leader, like battle-worn and weary. He's the main leader, samurai leader. Then you have like the crazy one, who's like the most fun to watch, but is also a little nuts and immature. You have the younger one, the young heroic one, who's like idealistic and then falls in love with somebody. You have like the awesome guy who like doesn't say much, but whenever he like whips out his sword, it's like insane. He can just destroy people. And then various other ones that are not as developed, but then again, they wouldn't need to be. They still have characters. It's just a really fantastically made movie, beautifully shot. It's one of those movies like you don't even necessarily always realize just how beautiful it is until you see the scenes taken out of context. Kind of like sometimes with Stanley Kubrick, at least for me. I wouldn't always pick up on how good the movie looked until I would see like a scene taken just completely out of the rest of the movie, and I'd be like, whoa. And same thing with that. I have like a booklet of pictures from the movie, and when you see them, you're like, holy crap, that looks amazing. Actually, Prof. Baldwin has a picture from the movie in like that slideshow of pictures from history. It's like of a samurai like crouching. It's the crazy samurai with like his giant sword, crouching like about to like charge into battle with like a bunch of villagers with spears behind him. And the battle scenes especially are just really, really well shot. It's all just fantastically made. The sets are great. Probably the weakest part would be the makeup. The samurais are all wearing like bald wigs, or the samurai, I guess. The samurai are all wearing bald wigs that you can clearly tell are bald wigs, but it wasn't a big budget movie. It was from Japan, which didn't have like big budget cinema at that point.
30 seconds.
So it's understandable. And really, it's not like it's such bad makeup that the whole time you're like, this looks like crap, because the rest of it looks awesome, and their costume looks great, and the swords are great, and like all the rest of it. So it's not like a heavily effects-driven movie anyway. But there's just so many things that go right in that movie. Not a single thing really, other than that maybe, that
10
goes
seconds.
wrong. It's very funny, too, in a lot of scenes. It's just a very, very infinitely
Wrap it up.
likable movie. Just great. You guys should all watch it if you get the chance. Anyway, thanks.